Oki C610 printer. So it's complaining that you need to change some of your imaging units, but image quality is fine. So why the heck is it being a pain in the neck? Well, I have not found a way in software to reset the counter for that. But what you can do is you can trick it into resetting that back to 0 through a hardware method that's free. You don't have to buy any special chips from eBay or Amazon. What you do is on the right side of a color, like we'll just take a random color, the side where you get the lever, you'll see 3 copper connections. These 2 lower ones are the ones we're interested in. What you'll need to do is use a thin wire, like I used this. It's from an Ethernet cable, a couple of wires, and I mean, if you want, you could solder it to here, but I don't think that's necessary. On the inside of the printer, you've got some little silvery colored places where it makes the connection, and I know this light is not good, but just look on the right side and you'll see those three pieces of metal that correspond to the 3 copper. 1, 2, 3. Anyway, you want the lower ones. Ignore the highest one that my thumb is pointing to. You want this one and this one. So what you do is take your little wire, wrap it around those 2 silvery contacts, and you'll just have to be really careful. I mean, it's not like super sensitive, but just go slow. Don't rush it. Dangle those wires out, because you have to have them hanging outside the printer. And I forgot to mention, turn the darn thing off before you do any of this. I've already done it. So anyway, so you'll have your 2 wires hanging off, and there are a couple of ways to do this. What I did was, well, let me tell you the concept first. That's the most important thing. There is a fuse, like old school, like automotive fuse, or something to protect electrical circuits. They put a fuse inside these units, and when they're at the factory, and a few seconds into the boot process on the printer, it actually applies a current across these 2 connections, and it blows that fuse. But it detects that the fuse has been blown, and it goes, oh, that must have been a new unit, new imaging unit. So it resets the counter to 0 for that one. So what you have to do is trick it into thinking that there's a new fuse that's getting blown. So what I do is I run those 2 wires to, I don't think this is critical, but I just happen to choose a 10 ohm resistor. You could probably get by with as low as 1 or 2 ohms, maybe more. And it doesn't have to be a big power resistor. This is just a handy 10 ohm I had. And you take the 2 sides of the 10 ohm resistor, run them up to the printer, to the 2 wires you got hanging out, and then you monitor the voltage across that resistor. Take a good old-fashioned voltometer. I put mine in DC. I did the 200 volt range, but believe me, it's way less. And then what you do is you power on the unit, and after about maybe about 7 or 8 seconds, you're gonna see the meter. It'll be 0 volts initially, but you'll see it jump up. In my case, I saw a little over 2 volts. As soon as you see some voltage, disconnect the resistor from the printer. And what that simulates is that you've just blown the fuse and it's opened up the circuit. And you will see that your drum life is back to 0, which is a beautiful thing. Let it finish the boot process. power the printer off, and pull out the imaging unit so that you can remove your wire. And as far as like how does it happen? How is it a perfectly good imaging unit is being used up? There are a couple things. I have a theory, but I haven't confirmed either. I think if you pull these imaging units out while the printer is on, I think that can cause this, where the printer incorrectly thinks that you've used up the imaging unit. Or just through normal use, you've still got plenty of use left, but Oki wants you to buy new consumables. And so as long as your image quality is fine, you can keep on using the same imaging unit. It's not harming anything. So I think this is a great way to save hundreds of dollars, because each of these puppies is like $100, and if it's on all 4 colors, that's $400. You can do this for free if you got a couple of things laying around. Anyway, hope this helps somebody on the Oki C610. And if somebody figures out how to do this in software, please post it in the comments. That would be even better.